Why the God of Islam is considered more logical, irrational, philosophical, and historical explanation. The concept of God has been central to human thought since the beginning of civilization, and what ultimate reality lies beyond the physical world. Among these perspectives, many people, both believers and non-believers, argue that the Islamic concept of God is one of the most logical, consistent, and rational understandings of divinity. This discussion does not aim to attack other religions or beliefs. The question is not about blind faith, but about coherence, simplicity, and intellectual consistency. In Islam, God is called Allah, which simply means the one God in Arabic, which is the belief in the complete oneness and uniqueness of God. One, without partners, eternal, without beginning or end, all-knowing, all-powerful, and always beyond human form, gender, or limitations, unlike anything in creation. This definition forms the foundation of Islamic theology and is repeatedly emphasized in the Quran. One of the strongest arguments for the logic of the Islamic concept of God is its simplicity. In Islam, there is one God. He alone created everything. He alone deserves worship. No intermediaries are needed between God and humans. There is no division within God, no hierarchy of divine beings. From a philosophical standpoint, simpler explanations are more logical because they require fewer assumptions. Islam's concept of God requires only one assumption, that a single, eternal, all-powerful being exists and created everything. A key logical strength of the Islamic view of God is that God is not human-like. The Quran states that God does not get tired. God does not need rest. God does not experience hunger or thirst. God is not born and does not give birth. From a logical perspective, if God is the creator of time, space, matter, and energy, then he cannot be bound by them. Islam's God is transcendent, existing beyond the universe yet aware of every detail within it. The concept of absolute oneness, Tawheed, is the central message of Islam, and arguably its most logical feature. Logically, division implies dependency. In Islam, God is not divided. God does not share his power. God does not need assistance. This makes the Islamic God absolutely independent, which fits the logical requirement of a supreme being. God does not need creation. Another logical strength of the Islamic concept of God is that God does not need creation. According to Islam, this removes a major logical problem. Why would a perfect being need anything? Islam describes God as both perfectly just and perfectly merciful. God's justice ensures accountability. God's mercy allows forgiveness, repentance, and second chances. This balance is logical. Without justice, morality collapses. Without mercy, hope disappears. Islam maintains both without contradiction. Direct relationship between God and humans. Islam teaches that every individual has direct access to God. From a logical standpoint, this eliminates unnecessary layers. A human can pray anywhere, at any time, in any language, and God hears. Consistency across time. Islam claims that God sent the same core message to all prophets. Worship one God and live morally. Prophets such as Adam, Noah, Abraham, Moses, and Jesus are all respected in Islam. This consistency strengthens the logical claim of Islam. A single God delivering a consistent message across history makes more sense than contradictory revelations. Islam explains differences in religious laws as contextual, meant for different societies at different times, while maintaining the same core belief. Preservation of the Quran. From a logical and historical perspective, Islam's claim that the Quran is preserved strengthens belief in its God. The Quran exists today in the same language and structure as it did over 1400 years ago. Millions of Muslims have memorized the entire Quran verbatim, creating a unique system of preservation, unmatched by other ancient texts. If God intends to guide humanity, it is logical that he would preserve his message clearly and accurately. God beyond gender and race. This universality is logically appealing. Compatibility with science and reason. Islam does not ask believers to abandon reason. Observe the universe, reflect on nature, think about cause and effect. Question blindly inherited beliefs. This openness to reason makes the Islamic concept of God intellectually engaging rather than suppressive. Islam addresses the problem of evil by defining life as a test. Suffering is not meaningless but purposeful. Free will allows moral growth, accountability, and justice. Ultimate justice, according to Islam, occurs in the afterlife. Islam's belief in the afterlife adds logical closure to moral questions. Many injustices go unpunished in this world. This provides moral consistency. Good deeds matter, evil actions have consequences. Justice is complete, not partial. Without an afterlife, moral accountability remains unresolved. Simplicity, consistency, lack of contradiction, freedom from human limitations. Direct relationship with humans, moral clarity, intellectual coherence. Islam presents a God who is powerful, yet merciful, transcendent, yet close, just yet forgiving. This balance appeals to both faith and reason. Belief is a personal journey, and logic alone may not create faith. For many, Islam answers the deepest questions. Whether one accepts Islam or not, the logical structure of its theology deserves serious intellectual consideration.